Hi there, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments, and on a rather harried December afternoon. I just wanted to share with you something cute that I am working on. Um, we're going to do, instead of the 12 days of Christmas, I'm going to do the 12 layouts of Christmas. If you're like our family, you take a lot of photos at Christmas time. There's lots of stuff going on and lots of people um, actively pursuing lots of fun things. So there's going to be lots of different types of pages involved in this. We're going to do one page a day. We're going to start with this page. This is going to be the left-hand side page. We're going to put the right side page together in just a second so that I can show you all about how we do this. But at any rate, this is using the Winter Days pack of papers, which were recently one of our gifts with purchase, but you can do it with any kind of paper that you have. So if you have, another collection that you like and that's kind of frosty like this one is, then that would be great. Just go ahead and use that. But if you go, you just know that you cannot order this particular paper because it was part of a gift pack for a gift with purchase for the Black Friday sales. So let me show you what I've done here so that you have an idea. This is going to be going along with our church activity that we do this time of year. We started last year with COVID, and we're going to do again this year, where we're going to get in cars and drive through our neighborhood and see the yards of several different members of our church community, of our ward, and each different house of the people that are participating will have a portion of the story of Jesus's birth. And so that's why this is set up to look similar to a manger. Let me show you how I did this. I used 2 full pieces of these 2 papers, and I stacked them on top of each other, and then I used the Creative Memories wavy trimmer, that's this guy right here, to make this curve right in the middle of the page. And so let me show you here real quick how that works. I'll just set this to the side. You take your 2 full pages of paper and you stack them one on top of each other. It doesn't matter which one is on top or which one's on the bottom. And then when you put them into your trimmer, you pull out this side arm so that you can measure a greater distance. And then you're going to put them into the trimmer, one right on top of each other, one right on top of the other, sorry. And you'll notice that if you utilize this top bumper on your cutter, and you put this edge of your paper right at the number 6, you'll get a cut right in the middle of your 2 pieces of paper. All right, so that's what I did. And then when I took it out, I ended up with 4 halves, 2 of each of the main sheets. And then I took the bottom half of one page and the top half of another page, and I welded them together, which I'm going to show you here in just a second. So these are the second 2 pieces of these. So imagine this is how these were when they were together, these 2 and these 2. And so now we're going to weld these together. Notice how the cut is exactly the same, so that there won't be any gap at all when we weld that together. But let me show you how we weld it. We're going to flip it over. So these are the alternating sides. And before we weld, we need a piece of paper to weld with. And the best thing I can recommend that you use to go ahead and weld are these title sheets that come with your paper packs. These are photo safe papers, PhotoSafe cardstock, and the back is just like any other white piece of cardstock. So I'm going to cut a piece that's, I like to make it kind of wide. So I do about an 1.5 inches, especially because we're doing a wavy cut. It gives me plenty of room to put adhesive and to make sure that my cut area has plenty of support. So this is the piece I'm going to use to weld. And these are the 2 pages I'm going to weld together. So I put these pages where I want them, make sure they're lined up just perfect, no gaps, okay? And then I'm going to take my adhesive and I'm going to put my adhesive right along my cut line. So the adhesive kind of goes ahead and holds those 2 pages together. And I go back and just kind of fill in here and there so that I don't have any super large spaces without adhesive, okay? To make sure that I don't end up with any gaps. All right, then I'm gonna use my welding piece and I'm just gonna make sure that it's flush with this edge down here. So it goes all the way to the edge and it's kind of even on both sides. And I'm going to go ahead and push it down, just lay it right on top, push it down with your fingers. And it will weld those 2 pieces of paper together just like they were one piece. Isn't that beautiful? I learned my strategy for welding from a fellow CM advisor who, and when she showed us this, I just was amazed and so happy because welding is not my favorite thing to do. Because if you do it any other way but this, it becomes pretty much a nightmare. Pretty much. All right, so the next thing what we need to do is we need to cut the pieces that are going to be our roof and our wall for our stable. And so I use our 12-inch trimmer. And I used the decal blade, which is this nice yellow one right here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and pop the blade out of our trimmer, our straight blade, set it aside, and pop our decal blade in there. This is going to give it just a nice little added texture on the side. And you'll see that I already have a little bit of that texture on the side of this piece, because this is the piece that I cut these other portions of the roof line from. Excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and open this up and slide my paper over to the 3/4 line, which is this grid line right here, 1/4 inch before the 1 inch mark. All right, and we're going to just cut 3 pieces using this decal blade. And I lifted it up. I should not have lifted it up because then it cut just slightly off. If I had kept everything down, it would have matched completely to go back, but I didn't. My bad. All right, so now we're going to do 2 more. 1. And here's 2. All right, so now we've got our 3 pieces of the stable. One of the things that I also did is I used one of our laser cut embellishments for the ice up here. That is a 12-inch strip that came with the paper pack. And if you don't have, the paper pack and you're trying to improvise that, if you have our Boardermaker system and you have the these icicles, this icicle punch for the Boardermaker system, and go ahead and use that. It would be perfect for this situation. or I'm sure that you could probably just cut a strip of white and then devise your own if you're creative enough. And but I just went ahead and used this 12-inch strip, and then I cut it kind of in the middle to make a 6-inch strip. And then off of that 6-inch strip, I cut about 1.5 inches, just so that I had a little bit of ice, you know, on 2 different places. Then I also used another one of our borders, one of the laser border strips, and I cut it in half to make this portion. And here's the other half of that piece. Can't see the snowman if I put him over the ice there. So we're going to use this on the other side. You'll see it, you see it fits perfectly just right there. But I wanted to put it on the other half. So let's go ahead and put this together. Oh, I also need to trim one of these pieces down because our piece that goes up the side here is only 8 inches. So we need to trim this piece, trim 4 inches off of this piece, and you will be golden and ready to go, okay? So we've got that done, and now we are ready to go ahead and glue this down. This is a relatively quick page, mostly because the products have done most of the work for us. So I'm going to use my repositionable adhesive, and I'm going to just put that in a couple of places on here. I'm going to go ahead and put my flat side on the paper down towards the bottom because I'm going to cover that up. And you'll notice that this particular paper has kind of a texture change to the print. And so I'm putting this post for the manger about just inside the change of the print, so that I kind of let that be an outline. And so it's roughly 1 inch, maybe slightly more than 1 inch in from this border, and about 1 1/8 or maybe 1 1/4 inches up from the bottom. All right, and then we're going to take our wood grain, and that's the first one we're going to put, the first part of the roof that we're going to go ahead and put on. So put a little bit of adhesive on that. You'll notice I'm not running my adhesive from one end to the other. This adhesive is not inexpensive, and you don't want to waste it by putting it all the way down a 12-inch strip when you really only need a few, you know, each end and a few spots in the middle. Okay, now we want this gingham print to be on the inside layer. So we're going to go ahead and put just a couple more spots of adhesive. And this time we're going to make this go slightly off the corner up here, and we'll trim it later. And then we just want to make sure that it covers and reaches all the way to the post down here. And you'll have that at the right angle. See how we did that? Okay. Now you're going to need your trimming scissors. We're going to just flip this over, trim off the edges so that they're nice and clean. There we go. Okay. We're going to take our ice, and that ice is going to need to go right here. Let me go ahead and put these the way that they'll be in my book so I can see them next to each other. And let's see if we need to add any more icicles to this. All right. I think maybe I will just move this up the roof line just a little bit like that. So it's not all the way on the edge like this one is. And, oh, you know what? I've been trying to figure out why this didn't line up exactly. This is why I love repositionable tape. Let me show you what my repositionable adhesive will let me do. I can lift this up and I can move it. I'm not going to move it too much because I already trimmed that end down here, but I am going to move it just a little bit because otherwise it's going to bug me. I know. I'm not a super perfectionist, but some things just bug me. Okay, so I think that'll be fine, and I can't really see too much of a gap up here, so that's good. That way I have a post like on this side, matches better. That's why it wasn't making too much sense to me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use my repositionable adhesive and just put it on a few of the pockets of ice, and we're going to add this up here across those beams. All right. And I love that this meets right in the middle because when we cut it together, so it's perfectly aligned, which is super nice. All right, and then let's see, where's our other piece? Here's our ice with our snowman and our trees. This also you can flip over and you have brown trees, or you have more of a bluish tree. And since I have blue up here, I wanted to bring that down into the lower part of my design. So on purpose, I am choosing to use that side. I'm going to just go ahead and put this about 3/4 of an inch up from the bottom edge, just like the other side, so that your borders match up pretty well. All right, so there we go. We have got a 2-page spread with a manger, and you could use this for lots of different things. I'm going to use it for my, like I said, for my church activity, which will tell the story of Jesus. And then you can put lots of different sized pictures on here. If you'd like, you can do full 4x6s, maybe do 2 down here like this, maybe do a couple sideways ones, maybe do, let's see, these are 3 3/4 squares. It's a little bit smaller. We could do a 3x3 even. Move this down a little so we're not covering up all of our ice. Turn it over. I don't know. And we could do our title up here. We can journal right here, or we can journal on the snowbank down here. Lots of different choices. We could use one of the squares to journal. Super cute. All right. I hope that you will take some time, and I hope this is a fairly easy layout for you to do, to put some of your Christmas photos on, especially those that have to do with the Savior. And I wish you a Merry Christmas. I hope you'll tune in and watch day 2 of our 12 layouts for Christmas. And I look forward to seeing you next time. In the meantime, keep creating those creative moments with your family. Thanks so much. Have a great day.